Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. Today I'm going to show you how I made the stuffed squash. It was a buttercup squash, and what I put inside it, it was really good. It did us for 2 nights and then a lunch for me. So it was, according to my menu plan, it was supposed to be 1 night, but it was more. So I'll show you how I made it, and I hope that you will enjoy it too. And if this is your first time here at Pike Creek Farm, my name is Renee, and I like to do videos on canning and cooking and baking and vintage recipes. And today I'm just using up some of my produce from my garden and from my veggie boxes that I get. And I'm trying to be, I guess I should say, a good steward of the food and the produce that we have provided and not let it go to waste. And I do have another video for acorn squash that I stuffed, and it's a different stuffing entirely. So I will link that video also. So let's get going and make some dinner. Here is the squash. This is a buttercup squash that I'm going to try and stuff because it is one that needs to be used. And it's too big of a knife. Let's use this knife. I'm going to cut the cap off and then scoop out the insides and par cook it in the oven. And then I will make the filling to go on top. So I am just taking the knife around on the edge. You could use acorn squash. You can use butternut squash. I have another video with a different stuffing in acorn. If you didn't want to stuff it, you could just cook the squash and then blend everything together in the pan. Okay, this is coming up. Trying to see where it's stuck. Aha, there we go. So I'm going to cut this off, scoop out this stuff. Chickens will probably like that. And I will bring you back. When I scoop the seeds out of the top, there's nothing really left. It was all these seeds, so that will not be roasted. So now I'm just going to take a spoon and scoop out the seeds from this part. And it's not as deep as much of it. There still will be squash left, which is a good thing. Over here, and this I'm going to put aside. I have my oven preheating, there it goes, to 375. A little bit of a string there. I'm going to just take some olive oil and drizzle a little bit in and rub it around. You could use a brush if you want. Then sprinkle some salt. Heated 2 hands and wash the oil off, and then pepper. And I'm going to put this in the oven to let it roast some and cook. It doesn't need to be really tender, but just so it's partially cooked before you put the filling in. I really wanted to use some wild rice, so I found this blend that I'm going to use in my stuffing. We have onion, we have celery, we have a little bit of red pepper and carrot. This is all stuff that was just left in I put veggies in this to make salads and stuff, and so it's been a few days, so I need to use it up. So I'm going to use it in the dressing. Trying to get some of the celery smaller. I got some olive oil in the pan heating up. I got rice cooking that I showed you, that blend. For some reason, I just thought that like wild rice blend was going to be really good in this. These were some new flexible cutting boards I got. There's like 5 of them, different colors with different symbols on them. As you can see, I wasn't using that for fruit like what it showed. I'm gonna saute this up until the onions are translucent and everything is tender. I'm gonna do a sprinkle of kosher salt, cracked pepper, and some granulated garlic. Onions, mushrooms. If I'd had fresh, I would have added them. I could have used freeze-dried. They're downstairs, and I didn't want to go open up a can of those. So we will use these. Turn the heat up a little. I had thawed for some pasta. I'm going to add some ground pork to this mixture now and let it cook and brown and everything get mixed together. You can use ground turkey, you can use sausage, you can use beef or venison, whatever ground meat you want and have on hand. This is just about ready. The meat is no longer pink. I'm letting it get a little brown on it. And now I'm going to add in the rice mixture. I didn't add it all at once because I wasn't sure how much it would need. But I did end up using the whole pan that I made. So it did make a lot of stuffing, more than what I will need for that squash, but then I'll put some in a casserole. And the smell is amazing. It is just such a good, wonderful blend of seasonings and different flavors. Now I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese. I am using freeze-dried Parmesan cheese because it's what I have on hand and it's open and I want to use it up. But you can use the shaker kind, the fresh grated kind, whatever you have on hand. And this will be the glue that holds the mixture together, sort of. I mean, it's not going to be like a real firm, like a meatloaf, but it will still glue it together some. I'm going to give it a taste because I want to see if I think it needs any more seasoning or anything. It's hot. The Parmesan is really nice in there. I might give it a little bit more Parmesan. sprinkle on top. Okay, we have the squash here. And I'm going to fill it up. This in the oven, and at the end I might sprinkle some mozzarella cheese on it. I'm going to spray this casserole so it doesn't stick. You could honestly just eat it the way it is here for a meal. Have a salad or a vegetable with it. I have some cranberry sauce I'm going to serve with it. I think the contrast will be really nice, the tang. And this is going to go in the oven too. And it doesn't have to cook long, 20 minutes at the most probably. Here it is cut in half. We've already been eating, and it is really good. We really enjoyed this meal, and we like when I do different variations of it also. So I hope this inspires you to stuff some of your winter squash and have a wonderful fall meal. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time at Pike Creek Farm.